Hello everybody, today we're going to start a new series called Anatomy of Top 500 where we watch games from top 500 players and see if we can break some things down and learn and get better ourselves. We're not going to be watching the whole game, but some key moments that I think are going to be really helpful for us. Today we're going to be watching NV Sheep Diary, who is the #1 Psylocke, also #2 overall as of right now. So they're really good. On Psylocke they have 61 matches with a 70% win rate and about 19k damage per 10 minutes. The accuracy is 34%, but Psylocke is generally low in accuracy because of the shotgun spread, so it's still pretty good. Alright, let's get into the video. Now the reason why I picked this video, even though the Psylocke player didn't absolutely dominate, is because of the enemy comp. The enemy comp is a Venom, Spider-Man. They have a Loki, Hela / Bucky player, and sometimes it can be really difficult with Psylocke to play against Loki. Sometimes Hela if they're really good, and Bucky as well. And she's not the best counter against Spider-Man and Venom. So it can be a challenging comp for Psylocke, but they do a really good job over here. At the end of the video, I am going to have a summary of main key takeaways from this video, and you can skip to that if you want to. However, I think watching the whole video and knowing how it's been applied by this top 500 player is going to be really helpful for you. So off rip, you'll notice that they are playing on a fairly supportive role, seeing for opportunities and helping teammates possibly get some kills. You'll notice that the enemy has a Spider-Man Venom combo, and then she peels very quickly for her team members, and then only trying to do assassination when the opportunity strikes, like this Psylocke before she goes in. But she misses her combo, and then she peels back in. The Spider-Man dies. Psylocke quickly goes back to help kill Venom. I don't think they really needed her help, but the ability to really quickly go back is going to be important. Can't hear their comms in VODs, but I'm pretty sure that their team members were communicating that Spider-Man and Venom would die. Here Psylocke uses her quick mobility to assist in getting the two enemy supports, and even though Psylocke dies, because there's no supports, if the enemy team were to come back into the fight, they would be at a tremendous disadvantage, so that's going to be a big win for her. The reason why I think this portion of the video where Psylocke doesn't really do a lot is important is that she can be played in a supportive role where she uses her high mobility to try to help finish kills or come back and peel very quickly. And she's not doing a lot of peeling damage to the Spider-Man or the Venom, but she can finish a kill when the enemies are low health, which is what happens with the Venom. Even though they could have gotten the kill without Psylocke, but you know, she's always quickly showing up for the team, and now their enemy is at a disadvantage where they're just going to be pushed and rolled in this first point. So here now they've lost one fight and they're regrouping again, and you'll notice that she's going to go for her first dive of the game. You'll have it's like 2 minutes and 30 seconds into the fight and she's going for her first dive. She gets the Loki kill, goes for the ult. The enemy Luna ults, and then our team hasn't ulted yet, so we're just going to try to survive before popping the Luna ult. That way we have an advantage later. So nobody dies and the Luna ults. Over here Psylocke tries to push, knowing that the enemy Luna's ult is going to end soon, but she pulls back to help Emma with her ult so she can finish off her kills, and then they get the win in this fight. Important takeaways here: the player is extremely aware of their surroundings. They are very quick to support and peel for their supports. They help in a complementary way for all the other DPS and tanks, and when they get the advantage with the kills, they are quick to put pressure on the enemy and secure the kills on the supports, allowing them to win the fight. The only time she dove was to kill the Loki, which allowed them to have a 5v6 advantage in that fight, and by the time Loki came back, the fight was already over. You'll notice that she doesn't have the highest final hits in this fight, not the highest damage. However, she was pretty instrumental in the whole fight and very complimentary, so you can play Psylocke like this. Alright, so we're going to jump straight to defense, because I think she does a lot of really interesting choices in defense that a lot of people can learn from I as well. So Psylocke comes in, helps with the Venom before she can do anything, but you know, he can do anything. She comes with the tanks, and then she applies pressure and tries to get the really quick assassination. Now she plays along with the tanks when she's frontlining, so she's never in front of the tanks unless she's going for a assassination. And she'll maintain a lot of off angles and uses her mobility to just stay safe. Doing some damage, getting her cooldowns up with Magneto over here. She gets behind an off angle, and now I think she's gonna go for a dive. Yep. Goes for the Hela. pulls back when her combo doesn't hit. She uses her copy to be on the left side so it can take damage for her. And then she's gonna reduce her cooldowns. Go from above into the enemy, not from the front. Uses her ult, but she forgets about the Loki Raid Gen domain, so that counters her ult. And she stays over here. Patience. And then now when we are ulting, she goes in to get the quick kills. They would have died anyways, but Psylocke has the ability to quickly chase people down and get those kills before anybody else comes in to help. She uses her mobility to try to put pressure on Spider-Man. She's trying to finish him off, but he has a lot of mobility as well. Almost gets him here, but Psylocke, Spider-Man gets up. She chases after him and gets in strong position. You see how like a lot of these chase moves will put her in a lot of strong positions. Now it's very easy for her to dive because they have no idea. If that region domain wasn't there, Psylocke would have gotten the kill. She dashes right in for the health pack. Very precise movement. That's just the mechanical skill difference. And then she tries to get the health pack, but she gets healed. Almost gets the Spider-Man. Stays at a strong position. She is protected from the enemy over here. Doesn't even need to strafe. Waits it out a little bit. Does some damage towards the Venom for that kill. She tries to go for a dive over here again. Forces the ult. They're going to use the ult at one point anyways. And then she waits it out. It's not a lot of her teammates alive over here. I think she's going to try to go for a ult. Yep. Gets, what was that, 2 picks? Yep. But just too many enemies. Over here, you'll notice that the Bucky was looking at her ult. Aims at the center of her ult and just ults in, instantly killing her. Watch my mouse. Over here, that is where she's going to end up. Bam. And he knows that. So instantly kills her. Alright, Psylocke's coming back in. Doctor Strange is going to portal in and they take the advantage over here. So we have 48 seconds and a chance to finish this game before the first point. She waits until the Magneto bubble is over or her invis ends because there's no point in shooting while Magneto has a bubble. She has a really strong position over here and gets a kill. Very good. Now she's going to go for the Luna. Captain America pushes in. They can team her up. Very nice. Venom dies, and now they're at a really strong advantage. Magneto's chasing after her. Uh-oh, we're in trouble. And then she panics a little bit, but then Cap comes to help. They kill the Magneto, but Psylocke dies as well. So that was something a lot of Psylocke players know is like you try to get out of there very quickly, and sometimes you'll notice right over here. The Magneto pushes her, and then she tries to dash away, but because of the do or die situation, they flick very quickly, end up dashing into the wall. Let's see. Watch this. Magneto comes in, her health is low, she dashes into the wall. So everybody does this, but that's just going to be a mechanical skill thing, or you need to be a little bit patient and aim where you're going. So Psylocke's going to try to come back over here. Spider-Man kills their Loki, so they're down a support, but Luna freezes him, and then Psylocke bursts him down. Alright. Oh no. Bucky and Thing die. So we are at a disadvantage. Psylocke is going to save the ult for an opportune moment. She tries to go for the assassination, but they ult. There's no point in ulting over here. Get a good high ground positioning. She doesn't need to farm her ult because she has the ult already. Let's see how she's going to play this. She waits it out. As soon as the ult is over, goes in for the kill, but the other, what is that? The Loki uses the Luna ult. Oh no, the Luna ults. Because previously it was the Loki using the Luna ult. Our Loki comes in with the Luna ult. Psylocke is trying to get the supports, but they use the regen domain. Loki is very difficult to dive into. And now she's forced to try to touch, but they lose this point. Psylocke comes back. This is at the end of the game. Get some shots on Spider-Man. They are down by 3. Both supports and the tank is down. So you just play left at this point. She gets a good off angle where it's hard for them to see her. Our supports give her some more health. Okay, team's back in. They use their team up over here. They Bucky Captain make a handshake. Psylocke gets out of there. She almost dies. Okay, double ult. Nobody dies. Ult farming. Farming her ult pretty quickly. Gets an angle. Ults are gonna be ending soon. Almost dies. Bam. Magneto ults. Cloaking Dagger gets out of the way. Psylocke gets out of there. Yeah, so Cloaking Dagger died. Venom dies. She ults into the Emma ult, which is very strong. It's easy to counter Psylocke's ult, so if you have somebody who CCs like Emma or the Thing and you ult into their ults, or even Groot, it can be really strong. So they clean it up and everything's over. From this video, key takeaways is going to be peeling for your supports is #1 priority in almost all cases. Unless, especially in places where the enemy has a strong hold on you, like a strong position, and you are at a small disadvantage, keeping your supports alive is going to be very, very important. So that's always #1. When you're at an advantage, push your enemies with using your mobility, put a lot of pressure, and finish them off so they get that stagger. In key moments, go for the dive when the opportunity is plentiful. Usually when your enemy is engaged with your team and they are distracted away from you. This Loki just had no idea Psylocke was coming, and it was so quick. And even though a lot of people talk about how Psylocke should be doing damage all the time, I was quite surprised at how patient this player was playing with Psylocke as well. There were a lot of moments where she was just waiting for the right opportunity. Because Psylocke has such good mobility and she can practically get to anywhere in the map, always go for good positions, high ground, off angles, places where you can easily dive and easily pull back from, and hopefully your supports can usually easily get an LOS on you as well. You'll also notice how NV Sheep Diary pushes with other heroes. When the Cap comes in over here for the Luna, she helps finish off that kill, and then they get 2 picks. So being able to force your own play, also support somebody else's play, and swapping between those two is going to be really important. Just make sure you don't overextend and die, because being alive is more important than getting a kill. When you're not diving or off angling or peeling for your supports, it is fine to frontline with your tanks. Just stay behind your tanks because you take a lot of damage, and whenever the opportunity arises, switch to off angles or diving or any of the others above. Just don't be frontlining with your tanks 24/7. It is good to apply pressure, but you are not the type of hero that just does that 24/7. The main thing you want to focus on is knowing when to do what, so paying attention to what's going on the playing field is going to be really important for Psylocke. And in a lot of moments it looks like they're just having a regular Psylocke gameplay. However, the thing that I've noticed is that there is a more emphasis on deliberate choice. A lot of the things that they do is very deliberate to the circumstances that they're presented with, or the forcing of opportunities that they open for themselves. So it's very deliberate. It's much more precise than the typical Psylocke gameplay. So that's another thing to take away from this. I do have a how to play Psylocke guide, and in that guide we do cover a lot of the gameplay styles that can be utilized as Psylocke, and NV Sheep Diary does cycle through those rotations quite often, so I do recommend to watch my guide video. Alright, and everybody, this is going to be the end of the video. In the future I want to see if I can dive even deeper and break down certain moments of the gameplay, so we can do a moment by moment, sort of like play by play type of breakdown as well, which I think is going to be really helpful. So stay tuned. If you want to see those videos, please hit the subscribe button. If you have anything you want to share with us, write it down in the comment section and hit the like button as well. Thanks so much. GG's.